Hello, my name is Eric Blackburn. This is my EDL 856, Understanding My Community of Burton Schools video. Looking at the standards for this assignment, I looked at ISTE 4D to establish partnerships that support the strategic vision, achieve learning priorities, and improve operations, as well as NELP NS 552B. The school leader will cultivate regular two-way communication with community members, partners, and other constituencies. You can see my reflection there below as well. Looking at the sociological inventory of my community, we have about a 20% poverty rate within Burton community. High values placed on loyalty, family, and hard work. The churches, trailer park, established involved families, and the school employees make up some groups of the community. We are a low-income community with many cheap rentals, lots of families in transition that are focused on the right now. We have some families that are more well established, just a small number of them that are financially well off, but largely our community is struggling. We do have a community of helpers, though. They're very much willing to jump in and provide whatever is needed to help another family get to the end of the month or put food on the table. I would say we're a typical rural Kansas town with limited diversity. Knowing the customs and traditions of the community, graduation is expected. College attendance is not so focused on, though, and hopefully in the future we can make a change from that and move beyond just being celebrating of graduation and say, okay, that's just the first step. What is next? We do have a supportive student body. So there's a small family of kids that have really known each other for multiple years. Pre-K through 12 support and attend the school events. It's a family-focused school events. We have things like homecoming, pastries with parents, and grandparents' day. There are after-school youth programs that have been around for a long time that many kids are involved in through the church. We do have community cleanup events to kind of bring everybody together, and lots of community members prefer to keep things how they have been and are hesitant to allow for change. Knowing about our population characteristics, education level, about 8% of the community has not graduated high school, 39% has a high school diploma, 15% have a bachelor's degree, and only about 5% have a graduate level degree or higher. The average age of a community member is 35.9 years. Looking at our school enrollment, the elementary level is currently the lowest it's ever been. We have class averages of about 11 students. The middle school is quite a bit larger with students of about 26 per grade, and the high school has averages of about 18 per class. Gender-wise, we're split almost right down the middle, pretty close to 50-50 male and female. Occupations, it's really a blue-collar town of laborers and farmers. Just under 60% are currently employed, and we have an unemployment rate of about 7.5%. Ethnically, 93% of the community is white or of Hispanic origin. 1% is Asian, and just under 0.5% of African Americans in the community. Language-wise, just under 90% speak English, 5.5% speak Spanish, and 3.5% speak Asian languages at home. Knowing the communication channels, social media, and word of mouth are the primary communication tools in the community. Most of our community members do have smartphones. Without the smartphones, they'll limit internet access is otherwise hit and miss. TV is the source for most news, and the school is typically communicating with parents via email and phone call. We also have a school outreach automated phone call system, and lots of community members want to communicate with us via Facebook Messenger. Knowing our community groups we have our athletic teams, the school band, the school theater group, the K group, and student government. We have charter families, which are made up of preschool to 12th grade students that are assigned to one teacher for their entire schooling career that they're here, and the teacher is here. Have about 7 to 8 kids per family. We have student families made up of siblings as well as extended families of cousins and things like that. We have church groups that are really active in the community. We have school alumni, faculty and staff, and then school board members. Knowing our leadership, our superintendent and elementary principal is a combined position by one person. Similarly, our middle school, high school principal is one person. We have school board members, athletic directors, district leadership teams, and then our experienced staff members are relied upon pretty heavily. And then we have parents that are involved in leadership as well. Our community leaders' characteristics. The community leaders are those that have vested interest in the future of the school as well as the community. They own their own homes. Multiple community leaders own businesses in town as well. So every aspect of their life depends upon the vitality of our community and our school. They contribute time and donate resources to the school when they can, and they are focused on what our kids need right now, knowing we do need to improve. Knowing the economic conditions of our community, and our school is funded by tax dollars. Burton has the highest tax base of any town in Harvey County. The community continually approves all school bonds, knowing that it's going to put additional burdens on them and that money is tight, but they also recognize the importance of the school and what we're doing. Most families in town do struggle, about 20% poverty rate for the entire community, but 50% of our students are on free and reduced lunch. The average household income is just over $52,000. Knowing the political structure for our school, the state and federal funds pay for everything. We must follow all guidelines to receive all of our funds, especially important in the kitchen where we continually battle folks wanting to change things and not understanding we do have to follow those guidelines. And we are a very conservative community, so when we try to do things that might be viewed as more liberal, or we have liberal teachers, they are usually they're fought pretty hard, unfortunately, by the community. Knowing the social tensions, there are socioeconomic strife in some instances, just the haves versus the have-nots. Off and on, there are issues with racially insensitive comments being made between students. We have a small number of families that are not that are going to be speaking different languages at home or might look different than other kids, and unfortunately, some students do make some unkind comments. Extra sources of information for us come from parent organizations such as PTA, from the church groups, and also from school board meeting minutes. Power structures here in the school, there is an absolute no bones about it that we must follow the chain of command. That goes for staff members, parents, as well as other community members. You must start with the teacher or the aide you have an issue with, then go to the principals, the superintendent, and finally up to the school board. Teachers have control of their classrooms, and as long as they cover their standards, we can teach what we like and how we like. We have a lot of trust from our administration, and they know that we're professionals, and as long as we have a track record of doing what's best for kids, they're going to allow us to do our thing. Knowing multicultural issues, there's not much diversity in our community. We have 2 Spanish-speaking families in town currently, 1 Arabic-speaking family, so then everything we send home is translated. We do have some Jehovah's Witnesses, therefore we kind of some birthday, Christmas celebrations is done a little bit differently at time or allow students to step away. The biggest issue we have multiculturally is really our lack of diversity. Knowing our power structure, the superintendent is in charge, but she will delegate when she can. The teachers are again trusted to make the right call. We don't typically have to justify when we're asking to do something. If we ask if we can go on a field trip or ask if we can do something within our classroom, we typically are allowed to do that. It is tough, however, though, when the principal and the superintendent are the same person. Sometimes you want to have a conversation with the principal without feeling as though you're going clear to the top to look for a resolution. Measuring public opinion is done through digital surveys at school events. We mail home surveys. We also send them home with students. We post them on our social media accounts. They are available in the school office. They're also available at parent-teacher conference night. They're done to gauge stakeholder opinion on the areas of need. And we've done this in the past and found that they would like to see us improve our school lunches, make the community more community-involved activities, increase the number of outside of classroom activities and field trips, things like that, and also increase our project-based learning in the classrooms and align our curriculum.